And yeah, Mr. Gay Vulture, no problem. Always fun to cast a little bit. And I guess that'll take us into our next game here, which is going to be Arya versus Dazed, who I believe is Dazed Spy, who used to be a Zerg. Apparently he has switched to Protoss. Now, if he's not the same as Dazed Spy, then I apologize in advance. If it is, these two actually have known each other for quite some time. Of course, Dazed used to be a pretty solid kind of CPL Zerg type guy. I want to say, you know, he was like I Cup probably 17, 18, 1900-ish. But with Protoss, I have no expectations here. We'll just have to see. So we have spawning in the top right-hand corner as our brown Terran DMs Arya. And in the bottom right-hand corner as the blue Protoss, we have Dazed. So yeah, again, no idea where Dazed is going to be at with Protoss. Arya does have reasonable TVP. However, because of his low APM, he is relatively prone to leaving units highly clumped. So your stasis and your storms are often very effective playing against Arya, and that can occasionally cost him. But again, usually the builds and decision making reasonably good from Arya and can play a variety of styles in this matchup. Honestly, it's kind of amazing. I don't know how you push in TVP with like 110 APM, but he manages to do it to some degree. And we've got a pylon going up in the main, nothing out of the ordinary there. Not exactly sure what the gateway layout will be from that, but obviously we're going to have a couple over here, and then I guess could have like 3 here, and then another pylon or 2 and a set of like 6. Some options there. And first depot on the way here. And we're going to have a pretty quick scout. So we'll be able to be quite a dirtbag with the probe here if he's microing that around. And we get first gateway. Okay, maybe some configurations here. This is a pretty easy main to fit a lot of gateways in. It's actually a little bit harder sometimes, especially if you want to have gateways close to the ramp, to fit a bunch of production in this base. And let's see. Gas to protect against a potential gas steal. Although that is not an issue here for Dazed, who has taken his own gas back at home. And we have the barracks going down. And Probe's going to do a little bit of rest, so SCV is going to be forced to be pulled. Let's see if he can get any damage in here on this SCV. And of course, this is a nightmare for Terran players worldwide. Probes really can be little shits when they get in your base this early on. And he's doing some pretty good damage. This SCV will likely need to be pulled, although it looks like Dazed is just going to back up and do a little bit of blocking or harassing on the command center. Actually, never mind. I thought he was saving up for Nexus. I saw his money, and I thought Arya was going to, like, just go straight into a rack CC, and then I realized that was Dazed 350. So a little bit high on the money there from Dazed, who is probably making a... No, not even making a robo. Just floated a little bit too high with the probe micro there, so slightly delayed core. And Arya is still looking for Dazed. Very late scout. Probe still harassing away on these SCVs, but... it did come back and circle around for that. We missed that kill, but it did circle back and get an SCV kill, so that is frustrating if you're a Terran player. Just throws everything that little bit off, slows you down a bit, and just, you know, your nice, crisp, clean supplies are suddenly all over the map. And what do we have here? First Dragoon on the way, and we're going to drop a Robo, so this is probably a Reaver build. 1 gate obs is not a very common build you see. Can't say I'm a big fan of it. Yeah, you get obs fast, but you don't really get a lot else. And you're pretty weak to anything aggressive. Like, the obs is nice, but you need Dragoons more than you need obs against most early Terran stuff. Probe is finally dead. Will be stopped at just 1 terrorist kill. And still searching is Arya. He obviously is going to know the location, but has no idea on the build. Not that Terran usually gets a ton of info. And now really all Dazed needs to do is secure that ramp. Is not building a second Dragoon, so he is going to be forced to show 1 base play to Arya. But, of course, Arya will have no idea what variation. Is it going to be some mass power goon? Probably not. But could it be TTs? Maybe. Could it be Reaver? Maybe. Should see a shuttle start here at some point. Quite a bit of money we're floating. We're going to go into the support bay. Shuttle on the way. Dragoon nicely positioned here at the ramp. Second, or actually we're going to go straight into Zealots. That's pretty common there. 2 Zealots along with the shuttle. Very nice for the bombing, and we'll see if this forces, or not forces, but if Arya chooses to respond to this with a starport. Obviously, that can be a rather popular and nice response, get that Wraith out, and you can just basically snipe the shuttle. And if the shuttle brought Zealots, well, then the Reaver's down, pretty easy to pick off. Making quite a few Marines here. Is this going to be a strong FD? No. A lot of times you just see 4 or 5 Marines with FD. So to see 7 here, this is a pretty committed FD, and this is a very interesting decision to move out. If the shuttle just picks up and goes, a lot of times it's not that hard for Protoss to hold the ramp. And then you've got nothing back at home, especially if Protoss is getting speed. Now, in this case, no speed is opting for some very fast observers, in all honesty. Although the Reaver is not quite going to be out when this hits, so this could get a bit interesting here as Arya rolls up to the ramp. And this Dragoon is actually on the low ground too. Is the probe going to see it in time? How quick will Dazed react? That Nexus is definitely going to have to be canceled, but it will be buying some time. Immediately winks out, and he's going to have to let all of this up the ramp, and that's certainly going to see the Reaver might lose the shuttle. He's being careless. Marines moving on top. Will they go for the shuttle snipe? No, but the Zealots are in the shuttle, so the Zealots being dropped, and we do have a decent probe drill here, killing off quite a few of these Marines, and now the Reaver's out. Scarab is built almost immediately, so nice from Dazed, and now we are down to just the tank, so this will be held off. Reaver Scarab goes off. Tank's going to run away, and now there won't be a lot at home to defend. However, with 2 Vultures here near the ramp, this Reaver is more or less forced to stay at home. I don't think he can afford to harass with this, especially because he doesn't have speed. Nice use there. That is going to finish off the tank, but has to keep the Reaver at home because of the Vulture. Should drop him on the ramp a little bit late on that, and some mines going down. Can the shuttle get over there in time? Okay, nice shot there. Goon mine sweeping one of the Vultures here down by the probes. No, they're both over here by the gateway, and in the end, those Vultures not going to do much. And now what has been produced at home? We have only a single tank, and more concerningly, not a Marine has been made, and Obs is out. This is going to be a bit of a difficult defense here, especially if the shuttle has brought... Wait, has the shuttle not gone to harass? Oh, there we go. Although the shuttle has not brought any Zealots, so that is actually going to make this defense very... Or not very, but significantly easier. I was thinking for a second he had remade a Dragoon or something to drop. He can still abuse this. There's only 1 tank out. We have a little ways till second. That's a pretty decent Scarab, 2 or 3 already. Reaver's at 9 kills, but remember there's a lot of Marines and tanks and Vultures including that. So that was not 9 SCVs in this shot. Pretty decent economy. Turrets going up. Let's see. He's got 2 tanks though, just chasing it around. And the natural now fairly well defended. Going to be hard to get off. Great shots at the natural. So the shuttle just kind of circling. Is another Reaver being produced? Probably, given that we have no. Interesting choice then to get shuttle speed and not make a second Reaver. That almost always means you'll or shuttle speed usually means you're going to see at least a second shuttle, if not, 2 Reavers and a second shuttle. A bit of an odd follow-up here, but we'll see. Maybe he just wants to get a few obs out first. Being very bold here with this mine sweeping, or barrack sweeping in this case. Coming over here to pick that off. But this leaves 0 defense at home, like very vulnerable to Vultures right now, and he doesn't really have any reason to think there wouldn't be Vultures. So a ballsy move here from Dazed, but it's going to be fine because, as we can see, there aren't Vultures on the map. And an interesting decision right now from Arya. I don't know what is going on here. I don't know how he thinks he's going to push away 2 Dragoons with a Vulture and a tank. So this looks like it's going to be a loss here. And, well, except for the fact that Dazed got scared. And now the shuttle coming in. And look at this. All the tanks have been drawn off here. He wanted to clear that out, and now we have the Reaver with 2 Zealots in the shuttle coming in here. Now, there is a turret position, but he's getting a few gas SCVs. That's especially disruptive to Terran, and forcing an awkward SCV run here, and another 2 or 3 SCVs go down. Now, that's 4 tanks right there. Does he have any more Zealots left? No, so he cannot afford to drop this Reaver anywhere near here. The Zealot is still doing a little bit of damage. Gonna walk in here, but he's gonna lose the shuttle, so this is a mistake. He does drop the Reaver, though, although it's very low on health. Does get another 3 SCVs, but now the threat of shuttle and Reaver is done. However, we only have 2 factories here, so not in danger of a counterattack. And, oh, that is a weird decision. Dazed not thrilled with his multitask or with his shuttle control, I suppose. Does finally get some probe transferred, but very slow expansion. That is definitely one of the nice things here for Arya. And we can see supply-wise, it's pretty decent. We have 4 Dragoons coming up here. There's 5 tanks, so this can't do shit. Maybe he can snipe a tank, but this is going to be pretty painful. If he even tries to run here, would be a massive mistake to just try to walk in on 5 tanks. few more Dragoons back at home, still working off of just 2 gateways. Again, a little bit weird that more shuttles and reavers weren't produced. I don't particularly like the decision to go for shuttle speed if you're not going to do that. 1 reaver, that's just not... Shuttle speed investment, not worth it. I mean, those reavers actually did do good damage, but because the expansion got so slowed down, a little too much focus on the harass, Dazed didn't really come out in as solid of a position he should have. If he would have expanded a little bit better, he should have come out in, somewhere between modestly and moderately ahead. But right now he's not feeling ahead at all. He does have a slightly faster third base, but this is pretty marginal. Actually, no, I take that back. Terran has a faster third base. I don't know what I'm talking about. This command center is about to land. This Nexus is not going to have probes transferred to it for quite some time. And of course, this is another location where, had he made 2 shuttles, imagine now 2 shuttles coming up with these Dragoons, bombing 4 Zealots, 2 Reavers on this, easily could have threatened this base. But having lost that first shuttle and not made any other, different situation. Cute little wall over here saying, Vultures, you shall not go over here unless you come down low, but 2 Dragoons can block that off just fine. Got that traditional obs at the front. No obs inside to see the exact factory count, but since he knows about this base, he's got a pretty good idea of what is going on. Where's Toss from? I don't know. I believe Dazed, if he's Dazed by the former Zerg player, I believe he's US or Canada, but I can neither confirm or deny any of those rumors. And we're getting a bit of a wall here. There will be a gap, though. Zealots are going to be able to path in there. Evil Eye, hello, hello, hello. And gateway count now increasing up to 6 gates. 4 facts here. We have the armory. Do we have a second armory? Yes, we do. And an academy and a science facility. So this is tech explosion central here from Arya. And again, ominously, the supplies favoring Terran here. Already the +1 attack done. So no surprise here. Arya always has fairly good builds and timings, given his low APM, as we see here. Although I did not remember Dazed being quite so low APM. Whoops, a Vulture sneaking in here, though. And these probes are having some trouble deciding what to do, trying to get a drill on it. And that actually is a pretty good probe drill. And now Dragoon's coming over here. Vulture shouldn't do too much more damage. Oh, probe's got a drill on top of it, but... Alright, 2 or 3 probes, not bad, plus a lot of wasted mining time. Certainly worth it, but still behind in supply. Now these 2 are finished. So, yeah, Arya's looking to be in a good spot. Should be hitting that 13 or 1430 maybe if he actually triggers his upgrades. It's about 2.5 minutes, roughly speaking, for those ups. There we go. Starts to spin those bad boys. Needs to add, of course, control tower here and get that EMP going as well. Dragoons coming up to the front. Plenty of tanks, not sieged up. Fairly typical for Arya. Again, if you're playing at 95 APM, that's just going to be the case. And just kind of sitting there at the front. And is Dazed going to attempt a bust here? It looks like he is. And the tanks are late to siege up and not many mines. So this attack could be a bit scary because a lot of defense is committed at the front here. But it looks like the Vultures are doing an excellent job here. Although only a couple tanks left in the back. But with those bridges, that should force Dazed to pull back here. And indeed it will. Not too insane of a gate count. No super reinforcements. Had all these Zealots been reinforcing, this could have gotten a bit interesting. And whoa, is that ever a mistake? Oh my gosh. If only an obs were sitting right here. Big mistake from Arya to bring every single tank, especially in light of the fact that this is not a tight wall. Just not something you can afford to do here. It looks like Dazed is going to go the brute force option, but Arya is not sieged here, although that's a lot of Vultures in the backfield. Can the Goons get on top of these tanks? Vultures being split up, or Zealots being split up for the while. Vultures not doing much, but Dazed is going to need to back off here, especially with that mine going down, and 4 tanks sieging up, 3 tanks sieging up in a nice arc. Just needs to lay a few more mines, does Arya, and desperately add factories very, very late. I just realized it's 13 minutes, only just now adding the factories at 1,700 minerals. That aggression from Dazed doing indirect damage, and a 4th base goes up from Dazed. A few more gates, that's going to be 8 now. Archives only just now starts, though, so that tech is pretty weak, and the probe production from Dazed is very, very weak. Arya looks to be reasonably saturated. Surprisingly, no third gas. Definitely could benefit from that at this point in time. Factory explosion starting to happen. Really should have like 2 or 3 more given his financial situation at the moment. And Arya actually at 95 APM this game. quite crazy, to be perfectly honest, especially for a Terran player. All right, so he's moving out at the front, and that is bold. He's only just added facts. He has a very small army. I guess he scanned and didn't see much, but I mean, you know, Protoss is on 8 gateways. I don't actually think this attack should work from Arya, although if Dazed just runs Zealots in willy-nilly like this, it will work out. This might be a bit desperate from Dazed, but this is a pretty stupid attack. He doesn't have the upgrade. It's a major mistake by Arya, but it's kind of a counter blunder here from Dazed. Admittedly, his 7 facts have now finished, and now that this engagement in the middle has gone his way, now it's fantastic for Arya. He should win from here, but it wasn't smart to do initially. Had Dazed waited, shown a little bit more patience and a little bit better positioning, he could have crushed that force easily and gone to a great advantage. But now we can see Arya is able to just walk up to the front, siege, mines being laid down, natural under siege, these tanks being recalled. We're about to lose at least 1 base, and he's got his main choked off. He has 0 gateways over here. He also doesn't have tech. You don't come back from this position. 7 factories are running. Well, maybe this could author some sort of a comeback, but seems unlikely at this point in time. Few Dragoons are desperately trying to run in here. We'll get one of the tanks. Actually, that's a pretty great mine drag, but look at everything else just dissolving here. Pain train of vulture reinforcements. In fact, he's making all vultures, no, mostly vultures here. And that is basically going to do it. Going to have a little bit of a bleeding out period, and GG is called. Dazed will take that game, or no, Arya will take that game and get redemption for his slightly silly loss to Aggie.